Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to this course of Cisco ASA Zero to Hero. My name is Zubair Altaf Qureshi, and in this video we will be discussing mainly about the device administration. So in the last video, we discussed a little bit about the two traffic, and mostly the two traffic are based on the services, and one of the major service that consists of this is the administration. So you have protocols like SSH, Telnet, and you have ASDM, the GUI of the ASA, to manage the ASA box. So we'll be going through that as well in this video. And before that, I just want to show you one example of enabling a service called DHCP. DHCP as a server. Okay, so we'll be enabling ASA as the DHCP server, and then we'll see how to configure this thing on ASA, and then we'll be moving on to the other SSH and Telnet options that we have here. Okay, so on the ASA, let's see what all interfaces I have here that I've configured. Okay, so that is there. So let's do one thing on R1. Let's see what is the gig01 interface, show IP interface brief. If I do, so gig01 is gig02 is 11.11.1. So I'll keep this interface as DHCP. So I'll go to interface gig02, okay, and I say IP address DHCP like this, and no IP address, and again IP address DHCP. So I'll go to ASA, and how it starts it is with the keyword of DHCPD. All the commands that are related to DHCP server is DHCPD. And then you first thing you need to do is to specify the pool. That is done by the address command, and then you specify the range. So I'm going to do this on the internal, inside this interface. So I'll keep an range from say 100 to 200, something like that, and you specify the name of the interface. That's it, done. Now you have to enable this service by saying DHCPD enable, or I think server enable. I think so. Yeah. Or let's see. Okay. Oh, not. So on which interface you want to enable that service, right? That's done. So next thing is let's see what all options you have. You should have a DNS, right? So DNS can be done by this, and you can hand out multiple DNS servers. And one option that you do not have here is the default gateway. So if you hit question mark, we'll see DNS that we did, address we did, enable we have done, and then you have the options. So if you have any other options apart from these to hand out, you can hand out those options. And for the for the next hop or the default gateway, what happens is on the interface that you have configured this DHCP server, right? So it will take by default that IP address. So for me, inside is on each 01. So if I do interface run Ethernet 1, show run actually, show run interface Ethernet 1. If I do, so it will go into the interface like this and hand out not the 1. So inside is 0. So it will go out and hand out this IP address as the default gateway by default. Okay, so that is done. Now let's see if R1 has received any IP address. Yeah, it has received an IP address, as you can see. So it has got the first IP address, that is 100.1. So if I do show IP interface brief on the router 1, and I can see that I have this IP address. So you have some show commands. So DHCP D, and then you have the I think statistics is there. State is also there. State is also there. So you can see which interface has the DHCP services running. So you can see inside is there, which is shown here, right? And then you have what binding should be there, right? So you can see that 100 has been handed out. So this is the MAC address like that, and then you have the statistics. So you will have the statistics here, which will specify some of the messages. So these are basically the client messages. These are basically the server messages that are sent from the server, and this is what it has received. So it has received a discover and a request. It has sent offer, and that is what you have. Then you have the pools, you have automatic bindings. How many you have done? One only as of now, right? So that is how you configure the DHCP ASA as a DHCP server. So let's remove this and move on to the. So how do you remove clear configure, and then you say DHCPD, and it will remove everything that is associated with the DHCP. So now if you go here, I should be. I'm on the interface, I think, yeah. So I'll say no IP address, and I'll apply the static IP address back, that is 10.11.1 on this interface. So I'll say IP address 10.11.11.1 with the default with the subnet mask of /24, and I'll say no shut. And if I exit and say to show IP interface brief, I should see my this IP, and let's try a ping so that the reachability is there. 11.11.10 is my firewall interface, and I should be reachable. Yeah. So that is how you enable the DHCP, ASA as the DHCP server, and some of the troubleshooting commands that are associated with the verification troubleshooting. So next is what? Next we will see how to enable Telnet and SSH, because in my last video I didn't show you completely. I just showed that is a true traffic, but there are some extra configurations that you need to do in order to log into the system. So first thing is a username, password. Then you have to have a authentication server. In my case, I will do create some users on the box, ASA box, and tell it to authenticate locally on the local database. But you can have in your organization an AD server, LDAP server, TACAX radius, whatever. So you have that option as well here with the Cisco ASA, and also we will do the ASDM part. Okay, so let's start with the Telnet. So one major thing that you need to know about the Telnet is that if I will show you that this thing in practical as well. If you have an interface, or in my case, I have this interface as 0 security level. This is on 50, this is on 50, and this is on 100, right? So if I configure Telnet here on this interface, even though I'll be configuring the commands in the interface, but I'll not be able to Telnet on the outside. But that is a default security on the ASA. That the interface that is kind of untrusted, you will not be allowed. They will not be allowing the Telnet service on that. It's kind of a security measure, right? Because this is clear text and it's not secure, but you can enable SSH. So you have the option of SSH on there. So let's try. Let me clear this and close it. Okay. So first of all, what I'll do is, so you need a username first of all. Username. Let's go with the Telnet. Okay, I'll enable Telnet on the outer interface and as well as the inside, and you will see that I'll not be able to Telnet from the outside, but from the inside, I will be able to Telnet. So a username, let's say Cisco. Okay. Password, let's say capital C, small ISCON123, and then you have to specify the privilege level 15, the top level. Then you have to specify AAA authentication method for what? For that particular protocol, Telnet application, right? Then you have the keyword of console, and then you say local in capital, that is case sensitive, or right, or you can go for the TACAX word, right? You have the TACAX console, you say local in my case. That is it. Now you have to enable Telnet by specifying the Telnet command, and then you specify the range or the whole address or like a host who will be able to Telnet into this box. Okay, so on the outside I have actually 20.0. This is the whole subnet that I'll be enabling. I can go granular with the host itself, but let's keep it like this, and I'll say outside. And same I will say for the inside, 10.11.11 0 255.255.255.0, inside. So I'm doing same, and also authentication will be based on the this AAA local database that I created. So that is what I want, and what all options you have, telnet, and then the timeout you have. So no, I don't need that. Okay, let's exit and see show run telnet. So like there you will see the two commands are there. So let's do it from inside first. Okay, exit and telnet. Let's see if it's working first of all. Uh, telnet 10 11 11 10. So it's open and it's asking me for the username, that is Cisco, and the password is capital CISCO123. And yeah, well, I'm in and enable, and that's done. How do you check? So for the ASDM and SSH, you have show SSH sessions. Like that, you have show ASDM sessions, right? And but for telnet, you don't have anything like show telnet something. It's not there. But there is one command which will work for all. But you can say like who, and that will specify who is logged in, right, as an admin. So 10 11 11 1, that is my router R1. So that is done, right? So I'll exit on R1. Let's go to R2 now. So let's see if it's allowing me to come on the interface that is with the security level of 0. So if I do the same command telnet but with the IP address that is on the outside, see, this will not be allowing me. And if I go into my ASA and say if I enable login console 7 logging enable, if I do, okay, so I can see on R2 it's still trying, right? It should have UDP discarded, yeah. No, that is not the one. It's from the DMZ. Let's wait for R2. No, it's not seen on the. So let's try once again and now check on ASA. So I have, yeah. So you can see from 2 on port 23, right? That is telnet. Yeah. So that is getting discarded. So that is the default. You can see security measure that has been kept there. So yeah, so that is one thing to remember. And Control Shift 6X, Control C, something like that. Control Shift. Okay, leave it like that. The next thing I need is so let's clear this telnet thing. Clear configure telnet. And likewise, let's do the SSH and so SSH again same. So you do SSH and then the address. So I'll specify the whole inside address for this. Okay, 0 0. So because what I want to do, I will just show you. And this is my inside interface. Okay, and no logging enable first. No logging. 7. Okay, so I've enabled SSH. Then I need the, let's see what. Okay, I need the version. By default, it's 2 anyways, and I need to create a crypto key generate RSA modulus 1024. Yes, I think I already have one, so I replace it. So I need the key for that, and I've specified the SSH. Then SSH, let's see again what I need here. It's been tricky because you tend to forget these things. Oh, about the AAA, right? I need the AAA. So let's go here. So for AAA itself, I'll say authentication, then specify SSH. Then you have the console, then you have the local. Okay. And that is done for SSH. Now let's do for HTTP. HTTP also, this is for the ASDM HTTP. Then again, you will specify the subnet from where you will, allow the, or you, this server is, okay. So for that, I think you have to say server enable, and then this command will be accepted. Yeah. Then also you have the authentication for here, but you will specify the HTTP here. Again, console and local with the capital caps, all caps. So now you have the username, you have the authentication specified, you have the subnet specified, and you have user everything, right? So that is fine. If I check show run HTTP, let's once again, you have the server enable and this, and authentication was already there. You have the username, so this should work. Now I need a route, show a route, because I'll be doing this from this PC, which is I think on .100. If I go here and say ipconfig, I think it's 10.20.20.100. Okay, let me just check like this. It's taking time. Okay, yeah, this is on .100, 2020 So on router, I don't have any issues. So ASA should know about 2020 subnet. So I'll go to the ASA route, create a route. Now you should know how to create a route inside 10.20.20.255.255.255.0, and the next hop is what, 2.11.11.1 R1. So that is done. Now if I go from, so I have to test the connectivity. So I should be able to ping this interface of the ASA. Great. So now let's try two things. One is SSH and one is ASDM. So let's try the SSH first. So I need to go to 10.11.11.10 422, and yes, I accept, and yeah, I'm in. So the same Cisco with the capital CISCO123 is my password, and yes. So the command that is used for verifying the SSH is show SSH sessions, and you should be able to see your IP address here. So that is great. So that is done. Now let's move on to what? Move on to the ASDM part. So for ASDM, what you need to do is you need to go here, and in the browser, you open the HTTPS and do the 10.11.11.10, and it should. There is a problem. I'm able to reach. I've enabled this. Let's try the. Sometimes happens with the browser. HTTPS. I have the 10.11.11 here. Let's try this one. Yeah. So this is the page that you will get. So here you have to install an ASDM, or you can run via the web. Application as well. But I'll just download this. It will prompt me for the username and password with the Cisco capital CISCO123 is the password, and this ASDM setup will be downloaded. Now you have to install this setup. I'll close this window. I don't need it. Okay, I'll run this. I don't need it. I'll close it. And I will complete this installation. So what did I do? I should have the ASDM here. Yeah, I have the Cisco ASDM here. So I'll click on this. It's an application. It will ask you for the device IP address, then the username, that is Cisco, and then the password capital CISCO123, and you hit OK. It will take some time. It has compatibility issues with the Java. You should know version of Java. You can go to the Cisco website and check for that. And before that, also one more important thing is you should have this ASDM file on your Cisco ASA. How you check that? You check the flash, show flash, and you should see this thing here, this one. Until and unless you don't have this file here, you will not be able to do the ASDM. Okay. So you need this file. If not, just check. If you don't have, you need to TFTP this file inside the Cisco ASA box. Okay, great. So we have the dashboard. So you can see for the first time the dashboard of Cisco ASA. This is quite similar to all other next gen firewalls, right? So you have dashboards like this, but this is like quite outdated. You can say looks old. Comparatively to the new boxes, but yeah, you can do a lot of things here. So for example, let's go for configuration. So device management, as we did the ASDM part, you can do it from here. So you can see ASDM and SSH that I configured from the CLI. You can do it from the GUI as well. So this is the ICMP. So for example, I'll just show you how to do it. So for example, from the outside, as of now, I can ping by, that's the default settings that is there. I can ping the outside interface. So if I go here and I add echo and say outside action, say deny and any IP address and say OK and then apply. So apply is what pushes the config to the ASA. Now when I do this, it will not be happening, because if I go here and say show run access list, there should be an access list created for the show run ICMP. It should be there, not with the access list. Okay, so you can see ICMP deny any echo outside is configured there because of the of this settings that I did here. If I delete and apply, this will go away. If I do the same thing again, there is no command like that, right? So yeah, that is how you do it. So you can see a lot of things here. You can configure the DHCP that I did from the GUI from here, right? You have the monitoring where you can monitor all these traffic. You can check the routing. You can go to the routing table. You can check the routing table here. You can see the routing tables. You have a static route, and if you're running EIG, RP, OSPF, everything you can see from here as well. And the VPN also from here, you can check the settings. And then you have the interface configuration. You can check from the from here. And also there is one thing that I did in a couple of videos back. The packet tracer, you can do it from here. This is really cool. So for example, I want to simulate a traffic that goes from inside. Okay, let's try this. Goes from inside to a source is my which one? It's bit lagging, so hang with me. This should be 10. No, it's not working. It takes time. That's the issue with the ASDM. So I need to close this. Again, let's try Cisco and CISA 123. That's why people don't prefer this. Let's wait for the ASDM to come back again. Now you can do all the things from the ASDM, but what people prefer this for is the remote access VPN. While configuring the remote access VPN, we would use the wizard option that you have here. You can see the VPN wizard, right? You can use that to configure the any kind of VPN or clientless, right? So let's do the packet tracer command. Packet capture is something different. Packet tracer command. So let's say from inside with an IP address of 10.11.11.1 R1, right? Is using ICMP, or 10.11.11.1 is using ICMP to go to 192.1.2.2. 20.2, that is R2. So you know it will go, R2 will reply, and then ASA will block it because of the security level. So let's see what happens here. You have the echo. So I'm sending the echo from inside. Should be allowed by the high to low, right? And let's see what happens. So I'll just start this, and the code is empty. Okay. Type 0 code 0, I think is okay. Let's start. So you can see graphically the access list is looking up, nothing is there. Route lookup, you have the route, yeah, NAT, no NAT, option, IP options, nothing is there. Inspection is done, flow creation is done. Now, from inside to outside, it's permitted. So that is what it's saying, right? Result is allowed. So now if I try doing the same thing, but from outside to inside, it will not be allowed because it's again low to high, from 2 to 1 and start. So again, see, this will be denied. So this is a nice graphical tool to see the packet flow and learn how things work. Packet is stopped, you can see that ACL. But this is because of the so router couple is done first, then check the access list. There's no access list that is permitting this, and by default you have the logic of security level that is denying it. But if you had an access list, it will be permanent. For example, let's create an access list, okay? And let's check this. The same thing, and it will be allowed. So access list out permit ICMP from host 192.1.20.2 to host 10.11.11.1 and should be echo access group out in interface outside. That is done. Now let's do the same thing again, and now see, you can see the ACL drop. Now it will be permitted. Route lookup access list is there, so that has allowed. No NAT policies, IP options checked, inspect check, and then flow creation and done. So you can see packet is allowed. So this is a nice tool. Just try it once and explore this. You have lots and lots of options to check it out. You have the this is the dashboard. Actually, you can see the interfaces, all the interfaces which are configured, and status as well, right? You can see the version, you can see the type of device. All this is here only. Licensing also, you can see license of VPNs you have failovers, you have security context, SSL VPN peers and all those stuff. You can go to the Firewall dashboard to check the current status, how many connections are there. Yeah, SYN attacks, those are there, right? So you go and try this once and be familiar with this, because this is a tool that you will be working a lot with when you are working with Cisco ASA. Okay, so I think that is it for this video, and we covered a lot, and do practice this, and that will make things more clear to you. And if you have any suggestions, please comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you like my content, share it with others and spread the word. And also I would like to request you guys, if you have any questions, you can just come ask me in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer. And thanks for listening to this video, and bye bye for now. See you in my next video. Bye bye.